Hello everyone, my name is Mrs. Paulette and I am a history teacher here at Grandpa's Christian, but I am also the Winterim Internship Coordinator. And it's my role to connect with students who are thinking about doing an internship. I try to help them find a really good fit for their internship. I walk them through the whole process and then help facilitate our internship program. So the purpose of this video is to provide an overview of that program. I really believe that doing an internship over Winterim is one of the best ways to use your Winterim experience. There are so many good classes, so many good trips, but I truly, truly believe that every student should do an internship at some point throughout their high school career. So I want to provide a little bit of this overview. So from the very beginning, you might just be wondering, well, what is a Winterim internship? And a Winterim internship is a job shadow or an internship depending on the field. There are some that are a little bit more active and some that are a little less active because of the training or schooling that might be involved at that place of work. But for a lot of students, they get to be very active in their internship. And you take this instead of taking a class or going on a trip. So this is not in combination with classes. You only do an internship for the 2 weeks over Winterim. Now, some students, they decide to just do one internship over the 2 weeks. I think that there are a lot of strengths there. First, you really get to dive into one profession. You get to spend 2 weeks at that place of work, which might be going to multiple locations, but it also might be in the same office or the same building for the entire 2-week experience. But that really lets you get to know what that profession is like in 2 weeks. Now, there are other students who might be interested in a few different activities, a few different professions, and they want to do more than one internship. That is okay. You can do as many internships as you would like. I would really suggest keeping it at 2 to 3 internships. You can do internships 2 years in a row. So for example, you could do it your junior and your senior year if you're really looking at 2 or maybe even up to 4 or 5 specific jobs that you want to experience a little bit more. But the reason why I would say limit yourself to 2 to 3 jobs or internships during Winterim is that, just like I was saying, of doing one internship really lets you get to know that job. If you're doing more than 2 or 3 internships, maybe you're doing 1 day at one internship and then another day at a different internship, you're not going to really get a feel of what that job is like on a day-to-day experience. So you may do multiple internships, but I would really try to limit yourself to 2 to 3 for the full 2 weeks of Winterim. Now, some students do decide to travel during their Winterim internship. Most will stay in the West Michigan area, but if you have a connection in another state, you are welcome to do out-of-state internships. I do not have as many connections out of state as I do in the West Michigan area, so I will not be able to help you find internships out of state. But if you already have someone that you're connected with and would be able to use as a host, then you are welcome to do that. So that's what a Winterim internship is. But I also want to talk about why I think you should do a Winterim internship. I really believe that this is such a valuable experience that, like I said at the beginning, I think every single student should have in high school. So this is really helpful because it allows you to look at possible career choices, and it's very low threat. You aren't going in for an interview and planning to work there for months or possibly years. You get to just, dip your toes in. You get to experience a little bit without having to commit for a long period of time. So you get to look at possible career choices. And you're exploring without committing. So you may find that after 2 to 3 days of your internship, or maybe after the full 2 weeks, you don't actually like that field. You don't want to do that job. And that is okay. I think that's actually one of the best parts about doing these internships is that, yes, some students walk away from these internships having confirmation that this is something they want to keep pursuing. And other students have the exact opposite. They know they never want to have this job in their future. That's such a valuable piece of information to learn throughout your internship, because then you can cross that off your list and start looking at other options. This also allows you to generate a professional connection, someone that you can use as a reference, who might be able to write you a recommendation letter, someone who is outside of school and family that can vouch for your work ethic, for your character. And that is going to be a very valuable connection for applications outside of school, within school, for future jobs, and also would be a great connection, especially if this is something you want to pursue in the future. Which this could lead to a possible summer or future job. We have had students who have done an internship, found that they really liked it, and they were able to keep up those connections and were able to resume, or maybe in a little bit of a different fashion, have a summer job or even a future job years down the road with that same company or organization. And I also believe that this is a time where you can discern God's call in your life. Like I was saying before, some students find that they really discover a lot about their future career goals or about their personal goals that they wouldn't have been able to figure out without the experience of the internship. So this really is a great time to explore and to find out more about what you personally are interested in for a future career. So that is why I think you should do a Winterim internship. I think it is an incredibly invaluable experience that students can have. So another question I usually get is, when should I do an internship? Hopefully at this point you're convinced that you should do an internship. But then the question is when? So the short answer is junior or senior year. We limit internships to only junior or senior year, mostly because to do an internship, you do need to provide your own transportation. Since you're meeting off campus, you're going to need to drive there or be dropped off there. And so that is going to be much easier if you are a junior or a senior. Additionally, a lot of places require that students are a certain age if they are going to be interning there. So we find that it's just best to do this junior or senior year. It's also the time when you're starting to think a little bit more about what are your plans after high school. So junior or senior year is when this is available. We really recommend that you do this junior year. So if you're a sophomore watching this video, you should really consider doing an internship next year for Winterim. But if you are a junior who's watching this video, or perhaps you're a sophomore, you've already committed to a trip, and you still want to do an internship, yes, you can definitely still do this your senior year. I still think that's a really valuable experience and time to do that. There is still so much to learn and explore during your senior year as well. But the reason we recommend your junior year is that it helps you start to think about what you want to do after senior year. And so doing this junior year just starts that ball rolling even earlier. So we find that that's really helpful for students. But regardless of when you do an internship, it's going to be a really helpful and good experience. So let's talk a little bit about the timeline. So being that this is happening in the spring, we do have lots of time for this whole internship process. But you should start thinking about this now. Right now, you should start to think about what field, what profession would you be interested in? Do you want to shadow a nurse or a teacher? Or someone in the business world, or construction, or plumbing, doing anything. Start thinking about who you might know. Start thinking about what are you interested in? What would you like to see on a day-to-day experience? And as you're thinking about that, start talking to your teachers, talk to your parents, any mentors, family, friends, send someone a quick email and say, I'm thinking about doing this internship. me and my family, we don't know anyone who's in this field. I'm wondering if you do. And if everything else doesn't start to work out, email me. If you get stuck and you're trying to find a connection and you just can't find someone who's a lawyer and you really want to do an internship with a lawyer, send me an email. I have all of the lists of previous interns from the past, 6 or 7 years. And I can go through that list and find, well, who did we have that interned at a law firm? And then I can give you the host information. Additionally, I have hosts who contact me every single year asking, can we please have an intern? We would love to have an intern at our location. So I have a list of those people as well. Those are guarantees. Because I cannot always guarantee that previous hosts will take on another intern. It's likely, but I do have a list of people who have requested, and those are a for sure yes, they will take on an intern. So if you're getting stuck, don't consider that the end of the process. Just send me a quick email, whether it's this spring, over the summer, or even early into the fall. Send me an email and I will help you out. And the reason why you have some time on this and why you can still email me into the spring, summer, and early fall is that the application process is in the fall. So right now, that's why I'm saying you should start thinking about this. Make a list of what you're interested in, who you might know, but there's no paperwork to fill out just yet. So all of that will happen in the fall. It pretty much mirrors the time when you would sign up for classes. So a lot of this is going to be happening in October. So you do have time. I would say, again, start thinking about it, but know that you are right where you should be for this timeline. If this is the first time you're thinking about doing an internship, that's okay. Just continue to think about it and, again, come up with some different ideas of what you want to do. So the application process is in the fall. You'll also attend a training session in the fall. During this training session, we go over things like workplace etiquette, questions to ask your host before and during your internship. It's also when you're going to get some training on what your assignment will be, because you will be completing an assignment for this internship. So you'll do that training session in the fall. I will keep you very updated with all of that information as we get closer. So just a few miscellaneous things here towards the end. I want to make very clear that college visits are not internships. So college visits are really wonderful, and you should definitely plan them into your schedule throughout the year. You just can't do them during Winterim. You also cannot get paid for your internship. So if you need more details on that, you can talk with me about that at some point in the future. As I mentioned right before, there is an assignment that you will complete for the internship. You are going to be making an online portfolio. This will include a reflection on your internship, what you did. It'll include a resume that you will build, and if you don't have a resume, it's another great reason for doing an internship and creating a resume that you'll be able to use in the future. Your future self will thank you for making a resume now instead of later. So there will be an assignment that you'll complete for this internship, but that's something that we'll go over later on in the fall training session. Now, there will be some paperwork and information. There'll be an online application. All of that will be emailed out to you, but this can also all be found on our school's website for Winterim internships. And if you aren't sure how to find that specific page, I find that the easiest way is on our school website to type into the search bar either Winterim or internships, and one of the lists that pops up will give you the right website. But if you're ever confused by that, again, send me a quick email, but all that paperwork will also be emailed out to you. So if you do have any questions about the internship, about the process, or how to narrow down your list, if you have a list that's, 4 pages long that's listed with all the different things that you're interested in, or if you aren't sure where to even start thinking about an internship or finding a contact, please don't hesitate to send me an email. I love helping students find internships because, again, I think this is such a valuable experience and I really want everyone to have it at some point throughout high school. So please feel free to send me an email. When we get back to school, feel free to stop by and see me in my classroom. Always feel free to reach out to your counselors or Mr. Karsten, but please feel very welcome to send me an email, and I'd love to help you as you start thinking more about your internship. So thanks, everyone.